Hi guys, this is Crystal, and this is another episode of Reseller Shop Talk, and it is Sunday night, and today I had a 50% off markdown 24-hour gratitude sale that I told everybody about for the last month that bought something from me. Now, I told them about this by leaving feedback for them, and so everybody just about that bought something from me over the last month, I said, come back on August 20th for 50% off sale. And I don't know if anybody actually did come back. I wish there was some way to tell, or maybe I need to keep a list of people's names, but that's just too much accounting. I already go the extra mile for accounting, but hey, for experimental purposes, maybe next summer, not anytime soon, I might start keeping track of all of the people that I notify about my sales, my 50% off sales, and see if they actually buy something from me. I've had a few people say that they will check it out or whatever. Now, the last time I ran a markdown, let me just move this out of the way. Let's move this up. Because, you have to have something to look at, right? I'm really not going to have a lot of things to show in this video, but most of my videos I show a few things and then it's mostly talking. So if you're new to my channel, that's kind of how I roll. I got a few things to show you, but it's mostly sort of podcast style. And by the way, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. So, I ran another sale about a month ago, and the day before the sale, I actually composed messages to everybody that bought from me for about 3 weeks prior to that sale. So on Friday, the sale went on, the 50% off sale happened on Saturday, and so Friday I sent messages to everybody, and I think that I had a couple of people buy from me, and I did better that day, although it's still not over yet. I've still got 2 more hours into my sale. And I think I had done like about $400 in sales for my first 50% off day. And this time I thought, well, I'm going to run it on a Sunday, because everybody seems to say Sundays are like the biggest buying day. I don't know if they are. And I've got maybe $300 in sales. So not quite 300, and I'm hoping to surpass 300. I was hoping to do another 400 or more, but I have kind of been setting my prices a little on the high side, so even when they're 50% off, they're still sort of like normal prices, I guess you could say, or like just a little bit below normal prices for certain brands or whatever of clothing. So it's probably not as attractive to people, and it's not like any of the stuff that is already super cheap is now even way cheaper than super cheap. It's not like that stuff's selling like hotcakes. So it's just interesting to see how this is going, but I do think that it really made a big difference for me to send out those messages to everybody that bought from me. And in the message, the first thing I said was, recently you purchased something like to this effect. Recently you purchased this particular item. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you liked it. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever seemed appropriate. If I'd had some sort of interaction with them, I might have mentioned something appropriate just to sort of personalize it. And then I would say, by the way, tomorrow I'm on such and such day from such and such time. Everything in my store is 50% off. I hope you can check it out, and So that effort seemed to make a difference. Plus, on top of that, I was sending messages in the feedback. And what I would say is something like, thanks so much for buying this. Come back on the 20th, there's a sale. Something like that. And I, had it to where it was, got all the important information in there in my feedback. And I've been doing that all month. So, like, the people that I sent that message to, like, a month ago, they might have probably forgot about it. Yeah, whatever. But, you hope that you get that one or two people that is going to start paying more attention to your store. Because the whole goal of this is to build up, like, a regular clientele. And even if I get, if I keep doing this sort of thing for a year, and maybe I'll get 10 people that just want to shop my sale days, and that's fine, because then if I run a sale like this, like once a month, then I'll be like, okay, well, I'll attract those sale people, and so that's kind of one of my strategies for building a regular clientele. We'll see how it goes. I think it could work. I do have some people that I know are following me, and I do get occasional repeat customers and stuff, but it's not enough to really make a difference. Now, I heard somewhere down the road, there's two things that I heard, and so these are the two things that are driving my motivation for doing this, and maybe there's better ways to do it, but you got to start somewhere, and that's how I roll. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start with this and see where it takes me. But the two things that I heard was that if you have like 1,000 customers, like if you have some sort of an online store or any store really, like especially for like a small business, if you're selling something, or maybe it's something that, you do taxes every year. If you have like 1,000 clients that are like regulars, or maybe they're not regulars like every month, but like twice a year or even once a year, like if you do people's taxes or something, you could really create a very lucrative, sustainable business. And you don't have to, and then once you develop some kind of a following like that of real customers that are actually buying stuff from you, that are actually giving you money, that is just it's just the way to go. It's a good way to go. And you don't have to be constantly looking for new clientele. So it takes away a lot of the marketing investment. And I saw this when my girlfriend was working for a relatively new insurance agent. She worked for, I don't know if it was State Farm or something like that. But, one of those kind of companies where you just sell that particular company's product. And they didn't do health insurance, they did all the other stuff, like mostly car insurance and then life insurance and renters and da-da-da-da. And so she was working for this agent who just set up her new, an office. And I think she had been in business maybe a year when my girlfriend came to work for her. And she had a budget of something like $30,000. I mean, it could have been 20, but it was pretty substantial amount of marketing money that she would spend basically online, I think was, where they would get a lot of their leads and people calling in from. And so when she first opened her office, she was spending that kind of money. And my girlfriend worked for her for a good 3 years or so. And like toward the end, it was like she had gone down to spending like $5,000 or $10,000. Don't quote me on the numbers, but it was something like that. So once she had she had already had her own clients, but then she was trying to start her own, whatever insurance firm, I guess, agency. So then it became, a matter of getting even more people, more clients to deal with. So I think there's, that's just the way it works in any business. And I think that if you're selling things online, even if you just have an eBay store and not your own store, there's no reason not to try to replicate that somehow. Now, I don't have a lot of money to spend up front on stuff like that, so I'm just chipping away. And I don't have a lot of time either, and I know there's social media, and I used to be big in social media when I had another business. I used to publish a magazine, and it was when MySpace was just coming on the scene, and I was using MySpace, and then Facebook, and Facebook was amazing in the early days. Even MySpace was great, but there was a lot of benefits to it, and I was like all into it, and I spent a good 2 hours a day on Facebook, and I really made things happen over there. But to tell you the truth, and I think I talked about this in another video, I just don't want to. I'm not like totally against it. I don't know. It kind of makes my head spin. And I know that I probably will eventually hire somebody to do some kind of Facebook, whatever, Instagram, if Facebook, and I don't really have a lot of respect for Facebook, and that's a whole nother story. But, I don't necessarily want to support them, but, hey, if you got to use them, you got to use them, I guess. So, yeah, eventually I'd like to get a little more into social media. I really wish I could have gone to that reseller rally and heard what Nicole State was presenting about utilizing social media. Nobody in the reviews had commented about what she said. And I feel like it's a little bit different than it used to be. Just because I think there's more competition, let's just say. Like when I first started back on MySpace in the early days, and then when Facebook started to come on the scene, I was like all over that, and I was having incredible success. But the thing is it was new, and so it was like I was a first inner, is the way I look at it. And now it's sort of like everybody is like, use Facebook, use Instagram, use Twitter, whatever, this, that, and the other thing. And everybody's just doing it. And so it's sort of like, and then the kids today have such an advantage. And I tried to tell my boys, I'm like, build up your social media, because you never know when you're going to need a big social media following. They just don't get it. But anyways, and I could go back to my old Facebook page, which has got like, I don't know, it's maxed out. And I could probably start pitching people on there, or, whatever, start socializing or do whatever you have to do on Facebook with all of those people. I haven't been utilizing it. I don't know. Anyways, so those are, I'm like going way off the subject. So the first thing is to, try to have a good solid foundation of regular customers. And I heard that the preferred number is just like 1,000 for all intents and purposes, most people's businesses. Then, the other thing that always struck me, because back then I did a lot of research on marketing in general, and there's this one theory that I think is just something that you don't hear people talk about a lot. It's this idea that once you get a customer, it's easier to keep that customer than it is to try to get new customers. And I guess the reason that I became so familiar with, or that why I really dug into that concept, is because I used to sell Groupons, not for Groupon, the company, but a different company, and it was not Living Social. So, yeah, no, it was another company. There was like a million companies trying to do what Groupon was doing, and I went to work for one, and that was one of the things that I would tell people. I'd be like, look, this is getting people in your door, and to patronize your business. And then once you get them here, you have the opportunity to upsell them, or you get them in the door, and that's an opportunity to get them to come back again somehow, some way. And then I would say that there's this idea that once you get a customer, it's easier to keep that customer than to get a new customer coming back. Like it's probably cheaper to get an existing customer to come back than it is to get a new customer to come in. And like, you know, when you watch Shark Tank, a lot of times they'll be like, well, how much does it cost for customer acquisition or something, you know? I don't know if that's the proper phrase that they use, but I think anybody would understand, like, how much does it really cost you to get a customer? So like, for example, if you were doing some kind of pay-per-click ad and you spent $1,000 in 1 month on pay-per-click ads and you got 1,000 customers, then you have people that actually came in and actually bought something or gave you money for something. Then that would be a $1 customer acquisition cost. So, and a lot of times people would be like, it's $12. Like, some people would actually know that on Shark Tank, or $10, and they'd be like, that's really good. And it's like, yeah, that is really good. So, like on eBay, I guess you could look at, I mean, I haven't really given it much thought, but like I pay $60 a month to have a store, and not including the cost of the conversion, the sale, my customer acquisition, I have probably, let's just say 100 customers a month on average. And so what does that make my customer acquisition is less than $1. But then I get those people to buy from me. I feel like I should take that, I should start taking that opportunity to get them to patronize me again. But because of the eBay rules and out of respect for eBay and out of respect for the platform, you know, you can't just be like trying to do business with them outside of eBay. I mean, I think there's some loopholes where you could kind of do that, but I think if you had like a really strong customer that just for whatever reason really loved you, or you had acquired that customer on social media and that customer then came to your eBay store, but you had a relationship with them on Instagram or something, that would be totally different. But you can't really use the eBay platform to get people to do business with you outside of, and do side deals and do businesses outside of eBay and all that. And I think I respect that 100%. So I want to build up my eBay clientele on eBay, and I'm perfectly happy to do that because eBay has so much to offer. You know, it's like being in the second best mall in the town, you know, like and in many ways, the best mall. It just depends on what you're selling, I guess, you know. For what I sell, eBay is the best mall in town, so I want to stay there. Like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, I want eBay to be successful, and I want to do my part. I see them as a partner, you know, and they bring me, they have all the infrastructure. So, but that is another topic I wanted to talk about, is the one thing, like people when talk about like things that eBay could be doing differently, there's only one thing. Yes, there's a lot of things that they could be doing differently, but they're petty and inconsequential compared to this one thing, in my opinion. The one thing they could do is they could make it so that people could just buy with their debit or credit card and not have to have a PayPal account. Now, they could probably work with PayPal and set it up in such a way that the transactions are still sort of going through PayPal, but just make it so, like, you know, do you want to use your PayPal account, or do you want to just pay with MasterCard, American Express, Visa, Discover, blah, 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 and just not even have to set up a PayPal account like you do everywhere else. Like if you have a Shopify store, People can just buy from your store with a credit card. Like, nobody has to go through PayPal. But it's an option for people if you want them to have that option. Same thing with Amazon. Like, I think that's one of the two things that Amazon did differently than eBay that really makes them more attractive, because people, like, especially younger people, like, they're like, I don't want to have a PayPal. Like, it's complicated. Like, they think it's complicated. Everybody, I know so many people, and I can't get them to get a freaking PayPal account. There's so many people that would buy stuff on eBay, but they just won't get a PayPal account. So something's got to be done. Like, if they want to, I think eBay could blow up even, it can stay on, in order to stay up at the top, as far as online marketplaces is concerned, they've got to do something to be able to take credit cards without people having a PayPal account. And maybe to encourage people to have PayPal accounts, they could, have some kind of an incentive to have a PayPal account. And it used to be that PayPal was like, you would have it because it was the safest way to send money and buy stuff online. And now, like, nobody gives a crap about that anymore. Because all the credit card companies, I'm assuming they're all like, all you have to do is say, I didn't authorize this. And all the credit card companies are like, okay, for the most part, from what I understand. I don't know. I haven't had to deal with that. But, although I think PayPal might be easier to deal with, but the people don't know that. Anyways, so that is kind of one of the strategies I'm working on right now with my eBay store. Then I am going back to school this week, and I am going to be doing these every Sunday night, just like Scavenger Life. It just seems to be a convenient time to do these videos, and I am going to commit to doing these videos now, or podcasts, videos, whatever. So hopefully, in the future, because again, I want to, it's like I'd like to have a little bit more activity on my YouTube channel, and I'd like to start getting more involved in the community, which that's just a whole nother topic for another day, and I know what I need to do, but I would like to start interacting, so please leave a comment, and I will do my best to get back in the comments, I guess. Although I don't know if people even get messages. But anyways, I guess I want to start doing more, not more, like I haven't even done it. I want to start doing like live interaction things, because that's what everybody's doing nowadays. But anyways, that might be another year. Anyways, but so I'm starting back at school, and I'm going full Mac Daddy, full-time school this semester. And I'm taking a class called Supervisory Management. Here's the book. And I think this is the right book, I hope. And I'm taking this Windows class, and I'm pretty sure this is the right book. This is just a 1-credit class. I can't quite. Windows 10. It's like Windows operating system. I just feel like there's so many unknowns still with just the whole world of computers in general. I'm like, there's got to be stuff I don't know that they're going to teach me in this class. They're going to put it all together for me. It was sort of like when I took this Christian worldview class at my university. It was a required class because my university is Christian. And it really sort of helped me to get real clarity about Christianity in general. So I'm really glad I took it. And it wasn't like they were trying to save my soul and spread the gospel and all that stuff. But